Good morning, dear friend. Can you hear the soft rustle of leaves outside your window? The way the sun filters through the trees, casting golden puddles of light across your porch floor. Somewhere a bird is singing its little song, and the breeze carries the scent of earth and honeysuckle. It's one of those mornings where the air itself feels like a quiet blessing, and the garden, whether grand or small, feels like it's leaning in for a chat. There's a kind of peace that only comes from being outside in the early hours. A porch chair warmed by the sun, a chipped coffee mug cradled in your old capable hands, and the feeling that maybe, just maybe today, is a good day to make something beautiful. But let's be honest, not everyone has the energy, the budget, or the space for a full-blown backyard makeover. Some of us are working with small patios, aching knees, or fixed incomes, and yet, we still long for beauty. We still deserve a bit of joy, and we still have the gift of imagination. That's why I'm here today. Not as an expert, not even as a designer, just as your friend, a fellow garden dreamer who believes deeply in the power of tiny transformations. Because you don't need $10,000 landscaping or fancy catalog furniture. You don't need a strong back or a big bank account. All you need is a spark of creativity, a few treasures from the Dollar Tree, and a little encouragement. In today's visit, I'll be sharing 30 simple, stunning summer garden ideas, each one born from thriftiness, purpose, and a love for making the everyday feel like a celebration. We'll turn plastic spoons into wind chimes, laundry bags into memory walls, and humble shower curtains into jaw-dropping privacy screens. And we'll do it all for under $5 a project. If you've ever stood in your backyard and thought, I wish it looked just a little more inviting, this is for you. If you've ever passed a neighbor's patio and sighed, if only I could afford that, this is your gentle reminder you can. Not with money, but with intention. Each of these Dollar Tree transformations was made with the real gardener in mind, the one who plants joy, waters memories, and tends to their soul while pruning a petunia. These are designs for real life, for porches that creak, for patios that have seen years, for hands that have held babies and tools and stories. So go ahead and grab that notebook, pour yourself another cup of tea, and settle in. We're about to begin a journey not just into budget-friendly garden decor, but into the kind of creativity that heals, delights, and inspires. Welcome back, dear friend. I'm so glad you're here. Let's begin. Remember those old beach umbrellas with faded fabric and rusty hinges? Maybe one sitting in your shed right now waiting for a second chance. Well, today's the day we bring it back to life and make it look like it came straight from a luxury resort. All you need are a few bright plastic tablecloths from Dollar Tree and a handful of faux tropical flowers. Pick colors that make your heart smile: turquoise, coral, banana yellow. Then cut each tablecloth into 12-inch flowing panels. You don't need to be precise. Let them be imperfect. A little flutter in the breeze makes everything feel more alive. Next, take some weatherproof glue, or for a firmer hold, a hot glue gun with outdoor adhesive sticks, and attach each panel around the outer rim of the umbrella, spacing them every 6 inches. Between each panel, zip tie a small cluster of faux flowers right where the fabric joins. The result, a fringe of color and joy that flutters in the wind and catches the eye. It may have cost less than $4, but it brings the kind of joy you can't price. It's amazing what happens when we decide something isn't junk, but just waiting for its next story. This umbrella isn't just shade now. It's a statement. It says, "Welcome to my garden. You're on vacation." Even if that vacation is just a slow morning with your feet up and your favorite book in your lap. And here's the best part, I've seen these hold up through thunderstorms and heat waves. No special skills, no tools, just a little care and creativity. Isn't that what we're learning as we grow older? That beauty isn't about perfection. It's about intention. It's about turning what we have into what we love and sharing it with others. So the next time you walk outside and open that old umbrella, let it bloom with color. Let it wave in the wind like a flag of joy. Still useful just like us. Do you remember the sound of wind chimes on your grandmother's porch? That soft tinkling music on a lazy afternoon when the world moved slower and life felt more peaceful. Well, today we're bringing that magic back, using nothing more than plastic spoons and a little imagination. This project starts with Dollar Tree plastic spoons. Yes, the kind you'd normally toss after a picnic. But in our hands, they're about to become something beautiful. Choose a few shades of ocean blues, sea glass green, and soft sandy beige, all available in weatherproof spray paint. Lay out the spoons on some newspaper and give them a coat or two of color. Let the hues blend gently together like waves rolling onto shore. Once dry drill or poke a small hole about 2 inches from the handle end of each spoon. If you don't have a drill, a thumbtack and a bit of patience will do. Thread fishing line or strong thread through the holes, tying each spoon at different lengths. You'll want a mix of short and long, think 6 inches, 10 inches, 14 inches for a staggered floating look. Now take an embroidery hoop also from Dollar Tree and use it as the frame. Tie the spoons evenly around the hoop. For an extra coastal touch string and some seashells from the craft aisle, maybe one every few spoons. The shells add weight and a lovely seaside feel. Hang your creation from a tree branch, porch hook, or garden trellis. As the wind catches it, the spoons gently tap and chime together, creating a soft, soothing melody. You might even close your eyes and imagine you're at the shore toes in the sand. Each chime costs under $3, but what it brings to your space, calm memory and a sense of whimsy, is worth so much more. And the best part, you made it. With your hands, with care. It's funny how something as simple as a spoon repurposed with love can remind us of the music of our own lives, quiet, surprising, and full of soul. There's something about the colors of citrus that just feels like summer. Bright tangerine, zesty lime, sunny lemon, they bring back memories of porch-side lemonade sun hats and the laughter of long-ago afternoons. And with just a few terracotta pots and some craft paint, we can bring that same cheerful energy to your garden today. Start with small terracotta pots from the Dollar Tree or your local discount store. You can usually find them in sets. Wipe them clean, then paint each one in a different citrus-inspired color. Think bold. This is not the time to be shy. Tangerine orange, key lime green, Meyer lemon yellow. Use acrylic or outdoor safe paint for the best results, and don't worry about brush strokes. A little texture adds charm. Once the base coat is dry, we'll add a touch of playful detail using a dry brushing technique. Dip your brush in a darker shade of the same color, for example, a deep orange over the tangerine, and gently sweep the brush across the pot in a light, uneven motion. This adds depth and makes it look like the skin of real fruit. Want to go even further? Use a white paint pen or thin brush to draw little dots or tiny leaf patterns. These extra touches turn your pots from plain to precious and make people stop and look twice. Now plant each one with bright, easy care summer flowers, marigolds, petunias, or impatiens. Stick to warm-toned blooms to keep that citrus theme glowing. Then group the pots together in odd numbers, 3, 5, or 7. Tuck them into a corner, line them along a porch step, or display them on a thrifted plant stand. The total cost around $7.50 for 5 pots. But what you'll get is a farmer's market-style burst of joy that makes your garden feel fresh, fun, and full of life. Sometimes the smallest things, a dash of color, a cheerful bloom, can lift the spirit more than we expect. These pots don't just brighten your patio. They remind you that there's still plenty of zest in life and in you. Imagine this. The sun is high, the garden is in bloom, and you're hosting a little gathering. Maybe it's just family, maybe a neighbor or two. Wouldn't it be lovely to offer cool drinks from a tray that looks like it came straight from a coastal resort? That's exactly what this project gives you: a stunning beverage station made from Dollar Tree finds and just a pinch of seaside charm. Start with a basic plastic serving tray, the kind you can find year-round in the kitchen aisle. Then grab a length of nautical rope, the thicker the better, and wrap it snugly around the tray's edges. Use a dab of marine-grade hot glue every few inches to keep it in place. This creates an instant yacht club vibe for under $2. Now comes the magic. Drill or cut cup-sized holes into the tray using a hole saw or a craft knife. A standard drinking glass needs about 3.5 inches, while a wine glass needs closer to 4. If that sounds too tricky, simply hot glue PVC pipe rings to the surface of the tray. They act as holders to keep your cup steady and upright. Paint the whole setup in coordinating colors: navy blue seafoam, sandy beige, to give it that ocean breeze feel. If you're feeling extra crafty, you can stencil on a seashell or anchor for a touch of personality. To take it even further, attach the tray to a stable base using brackets or heavy-duty adhesive. A small wooden crate, a plant stand, or even an upturned bucket painted to match can make it feel like a built-in drink station. Set it up by your chair, your hammock, or near the grill. Add a pitcher of lemonade, a few chilled glasses, and a bowl of sliced fruit. Just like that, you've got a 5-star refreshment corner, all for about $4. It's not just about convenience. It's about creating spaces that make people feel welcome. That say, come sit, stay a while, let's enjoy the day. Even if it's just you and a breeze. You didn't need a fancy designer. You just needed a good idea, a quiet afternoon, and a heart that still loves to create. Have you ever watched a summer breeze flutter through a line of laundry, making the cloth dance like it's alive? There's something comforting about that soft fabric swaying in the wind, sunlight catching on colors. That's the feeling we're recreating with today's project, a beautiful garden garland made from something as humble as Dollar Tree washcloths. You'll want to start with a handful of colorful washcloths. Look for summery patterns, florals, nautical stripes, cheerful solids, anything that brings a smile. Each cloth will become 2 triangle flags. Simply fold each one corner to corner and cut diagonally to create your pennant shape. If scissors aren't your favorite tool, you can even trace a triangle onto cardboard and use it as a cutting guide. Now, because we want this garland to last through sun and breeze, we'll hem the raw edges with fabric glue. Just a small line along the cut edge, press and hold for a few seconds and let dry. No sewing needed. And even if the edges fray a little over time, that only adds to the charm. Next, take a length of marine-grade rope or sturdy jute twine. You'll want enough to stretch across your space 10 to 50 feet depending on where it's going. Lay out your triangle flags and glue, or clip them on with small clothespins, spacing them about 6 inches apart. Mix and match colors freely. This isn't meant to be perfect. It's meant to be joyful. Hang your garland across a fence along the eaves of your porch, between 2 trees, or over a garden arch. As it moves with the breeze, it brings a sense of playfulness and life to your space. Total cost around $1.25 for every 5 to 6 feet of garland. Compare that to $40+ for high-end outdoor bunting, and you've saved a small fortune while adding something handmade and heartful to your garden. It's amazing, isn't it, how something as simple as a flutter of fabric can make a space feel more alive, like a celebration even on an ordinary day. And maybe that's what this garland really is, a quiet celebration of creativity, of resourcefulness, of another summer day to savor. Do you remember family vacations, beachside cafes, or those little roadside stands with bamboo trim and string lights? There was always something so carefree, so inviting about them. The good news is you don't have to fly to the tropics to feel that way again. With just a few bamboo placemats, some faux palm fronds, and string lights, you can turn any ordinary table into your own backyard tiki bar. Start by gathering a handful of bamboo placemats from the Dollar Tree. These are usually sold in the kitchen section, but today, we're giving them a whole new purpose. Measure how many you'll need to wrap around the legs or base of your patio table. If your table is round, you might use 4 to 6. If it's rectangular, start with the long side and work your way around. Secure the placemats to the table using heavy-duty zip ties or garden wire, one every 8 inches or so. Don't worry if there's a slight gap between them. That peak of space only adds to the breezy, casual charm of a real tiki hut. Next, take some artificial palm fronds or tropical leaves, also available in the floral or craft aisle, and attach them to the edge of the table. Let them hang slightly over the sides like a natural fringe or awning. A few small screws or tacks will hold them in place, or you can weave them through the zip ties you already used. And now for the magic touch, warm white string lights. Gently weave the lights through the fronds, allowing a soft golden glow to peek out. Turn them on at dusk and you'll see the whole setup transform into a glowing little island getaway right in your own backyard. Altogether, this project costs under $8, but it creates a space that feels like a $200 tropical escape. One you can walk out to any evening barefoot, lemonade in hand, and feel the world slow down. That's the thing about upcycling. It's not just about saving money. It's about reimagining what's possible, turning placemats into palm-fringed hideaways and an old table into a destination. And sometimes the best vacations are the ones where you never have to leave home. Sometimes the simplest items carry the greatest potential. A mesh laundry bag, for instance, usually meant for washing delicates, can become a moving display of your summer memories, dancing gently in the breeze like pages from a scrapbook in the wind. To begin this heartwarming project, pick up a couple of mesh laundry bags from the Dollar Tree. They're light, breathable, and most importantly, full of tiny openings that make them perfect for creating a memory net. Hang your bags diagonally across a wall, a fence, or even between two garden posts. A 45-degree angle works beautifully because it allows movement and visibility without feeling too rigid. You can use small nails, push pins, or command hooks if you're working on a smoother surface like vinyl. Now comes the part that fills your display with soul. Use brightly colored plastic clothespins. You can find these in the laundry or craft section to clip on summer photos, handwritten notes, or even your grandchildren's doodles. As the wind moves through the mesh, the display shifts and flows, making it feel alive. Want to add even more charm? Intertwine a strand of fairy lights or clip in little paper flowers for a festive touch. You could even paint the mesh frames a soft pastel shade to match your garden palette. This idea is especially wonderful for family gatherings or summer celebrations, a tribute wall of joyful moments. And when the season changes, simply unclip and swap in new memories. The total cost around $3.50 per wall compared to $25 or more for decorative outdoor photo displays from high-end stores. But what you're really creating isn't just decor, it's connection. A daily reminder of people you love, moments you treasure, and stories still being written. We often forget that decorating isn't just about how things look, it's about how they make us feel. This memory wall captures not only images, but also emotion fluttering softly in the sun, and reminding you that your life is made of beautiful, everyday pieces worth celebrating. You know that golden hour glow, the way the sunlight stretches long and low across the garden just before sunset. It warms everything it touches. Wouldn't it be lovely to capture that feeling all day long? That's exactly what this next idea does. And it only takes a few wooden dowels, some paper plates, and a splash of color. Start with several plain wooden dowels. Dollar Tree usually carries them in craft sections, or you can use bamboo garden stakes. Choose different lengths, like 18 inches, 3 feet, and 4 feet. This variety adds flow and rhythm to your garden beds, much like a painter dabbing light across a canvas. Next, you'll want to paint each dowel in a beautiful sunset gradient. Begin with soft pink or coral at the base, blending into warm orange and ending in pale yellow at the top. Spray paint works best for smooth blending, but acrylic and a sponge brush can give you a lovely hand-done texture too. No need for perfection, the irregularity mimics real sunlight. Now for the suns. Take plain white paper plates and cut out simple ray shapes around the edge, triangle points or curved flares, whatever feels playful to you. Paint them in matching or contrasting ombre tones, then glue or tape them to the tops of the dowels. Once everything is dry, insert your sun stakes into flower beds, large planters, or even a pot by your front door. Angle some toward the morning light, others toward where the evening sun dips low. As the real light moves, these little garden suns will catch the glow and reflect back warmth, color, and cheer. Each stake costs about $1.50 to make. But what you create is more than art, it's a feeling. A reminder that light lives in every corner, even if it comes from a paper plate and some paint. Gardens don't need expensive sculptures or bronze statues. Sometimes the most touching beauty comes from something handmade, something simple that makes you smile when you step outside. So plant a little sunshine today, dear friend. Let your garden remind you that every day still holds light, joy, and color, no matter what season of life you're in. There's something so tender about a picnic. Maybe it reminds you of childhood outings or anniversaries under the stars. Whatever the memory, the feeling is always the same: relaxed, joyful, and deeply human. And the best part, you can create that feeling right in your own backyard using just a few affordable finds and a touch of thoughtful layering. Let's begin with the base, a simple checkered tablecloth. Red and white, blue and cream, even soft gingham pastels. Any pattern that makes you think of lemonade and sandwiches will do. Lay it over a picnic table, a foldable table, or even the ground if your knees allow. For extra charm, layer a smaller cloth diagonally over the first. This adds texture and gives the whole setup a designer feel, no effort, all style. Now gather a few mason jars. These become your vases. Fill them with seasonal blooms, daisies, marigolds, lavender, or even cuttings from your own garden. Wrap a little jute twine or ribbon around each jar for that homespun elegance. You'd be surprised how something so small can make a table feel special. Here's where the magic happens. Take Dollar Tree's mesh produce bags, the ones used for storing fruits and vegetables, and tuck small string lights inside them. Hang them from tree branches, garden hooks, or shepherd's poles above your table. When the sun sets, these glowing bundles cast a soft dappled light that turns any meal into a memory. Add a few cushions or folded blankets for seating and maybe a tray of finger foods or a cool drink nearby. Suddenly, your garden isn't just a space, it's an experience. A little haven of comfort and connection where every bite tastes a bit sweeter under the open sky. This entire picnic corner costs about $1.25 per item, yet it rivals 50+ designer setups you see in magazines. And it's not just lovely, it's yours. Made with intention for yourself and for anyone lucky enough to join you. So go ahead, light the candles, pour the tea, and sit down for a quiet meal with the birds singing nearby. You don't need a reason. Life itself is enough of a celebration. Have you ever stepped into a garden and felt the air suddenly cooler, like the whole space took a deep breath just for you? That's the effect we're going to create today. A soft mist that floats around your seating area, cooling your skin and calming your spirit, all made from a few simple plastic bottles and a bit of clever engineering. Start with 3 to 4 empty plastic bottles. Clear ones work best so you can see the water levels. Clean them thoroughly and drill a small hole about 1 4-inch wide in each cap. This is where the misting magic begins. Next, grab a length of clear vinyl tubing available at most hardware stores or dollar sections and gardening aisles, and connect the tubing to your garden hose using an adapter or tight seal. Then insert the tubing into each bottle cap, so that when the hose is turned on, water is pushed through and forced out of the small holes as a gentle spray. If you want a professional touch, attach small misting nozzles at the cap ends. They're easy to find online or at hardware stores, and they really improve the cooling effect. Now mount the bottles around your seating area using garden stakes, zip ties, or even tall plant cages. Position them about 6 feet high and space them in a circle or semicircle, angled slightly downward for best coverage. Once you turn on the hose, a light fine mist will fill the air. It's not overwhelming, just enough to lower the temperature around you by 10 to 15 degrees. And when the sun is high and the garden is still, that little bit of relief can make the world feel new again. Total cost around $3 per bottle station. Compare that to $150 or more for commercial grade systems, and you'll feel just as refreshed by the savings as by the mist. This project reminds us that comfort doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's just about being clever and caring enough to make our space more peaceful. So go ahead, sit back, let the mist kiss your cheeks while the birds sing. You've created something lovely, and you did it with almost nothing but patience, creativity, and heart. There's something dreamy about dappled light when sunbeams filter through fabric and cast soft shadows across your patio. It feels like being wrapped in a summer sigh. And the best part is you don't need to buy expensive canopies or hire an installer. With a few light-colored tablecloths or shower curtains, you can create your own elegant shade sails that look like something out of a design magazine. Start by choosing your fabric. Lightweight tablecloths or Dollar Tree's sheer shower curtains work wonderfully. Go for whites, creams, or pale blues colors that reflect sunlight instead of absorbing it. This not only keeps things cooler, but gives your garden that breezy open-air look. Now let's prepare your sail. You'll want to install metal grommets along the edges about every 18 inches or so. Grommet kits are inexpensive and surprisingly easy to use. A little tap with a hammer, and you're set. These reinforcements make sure your fabric doesn't tear when the wind picks up. Next, string up your sail between trees' porch posts, or even tall shepherd's hooks. The trick is to hang the fabric at a gentle angle, roughly 30 degrees, which not only provides better shade in the afternoon, but adds that graceful architectural tilt that feels upscale and intentional. For a little flair, you can add small embellishments, maybe a trim of lace, a few tassels, or even some solar lights stitched along the edge for evening glow. The entire structure might cost you $5 to $7, but it creates the effect of a $200 designer shade sail. And the results? You gain 70% more usable outdoor space during the hottest part of the day. Whether you're reading, having lunch, or just listening to the birds, that pool of shade becomes a sanctuary, all because you reimagined something simple. We often think beauty requires big budgets, but sometimes it just takes a tablecloth, a bit of string, and a new way of seeing. Your shade sail doesn't just block the sun, it lifts the spirit, and that's a kind of light all its own. After a long morning tending the garden or simply soaking in the summer air, there's nothing quite like the soothing feel of cool water on your feet. It's a small joy, but one that brings real peace. And today, we're going to create a foot spa, so relaxing and so affordable you might find yourself using it every evening. The foundation is simple: a large plastic storage bin, preferably one that's wide and shallow. You can usually find these for $1 or $2. Give it a good clean, then paint the outside in calming spa-inspired colors: sea foam, green ocean blue, lavender mist. These tones turn something basic into something beautiful. Inside the bin, add a layer of smooth river rocks from the garden or craft section. These stones aren't just decorative, they gently massage your feet as you soak, grounding you in a very literal, very healing way. You can even keep them in the fridge beforehand for an extra cooling touch. Next, you'll want to add small extras that make this feel like a full experience. Use waterproof baskets nearby to hold a rolled hand towel, a pair of flip-flops, and maybe even a spritz bottle filled with rose water or mint. PVC pipe cut into short rings makes perfect cup holders. Just glue them to the edge of the bin or set them beside it to hold your drink of choice. When you're ready, fill the bin with cool water, a few drops of essential oil if you like, and let your feet slip in. Take a deep breath. You're not at a spa, you're at home. And yet the calm is just as real. The entire setup costs under $7 compared to $100 or more for a commercial foot spa. But what you've created is more than comfort. It's self-care that's gentle, thoughtful, and yours. This little ritual can become a moment of reflection at the end of your day. A reminder that you're allowed to rest, that your body deserves kindness, that even the simplest things, a bin, some water, a quiet seat, can bring deep, golden peace. There's something magical about a summer breeze, the way it slips past your cheeks, rustles the leaves, and makes you close your eyes without even realizing it. What if you could invite more of that breeze into your garden, using nothing but a few funnels and a little physics? That's the beauty of this next idea, a natural air cooling system made with plastic funnels and PVC pipe. It sounds scientific, but it's beautifully simple. No electricity, no fans, just airflow enhanced by shape and smart placement. Start with a few large plastic funnels. Dollar Tree usually stocks them in the kitchen aisle. Paint them in your favorite soft garden colors: pale turquoise, sage green, or creamy white. A light coat of outdoor paint does the trick and helps them blend beautifully into your space. Next, attach each funnel to a length of PVC pipe about 2 to 3 feet tall using strong glue or even zip ties. The pipe acts as a stand, holding your funnel up and angled just right to catch the breeze. Now here's where the magic happens. Place the finished units around your seating area, angled slightly downward toward where you rest. Position them to face the direction your natural breeze usually comes from. The wide mouth of the funnel captures that breeze, and the narrowing neck increases its speed as it flows through like nature's own air conditioner. You can cluster 2 or 3 around a bench, patio chair, or garden swing. Add a little floral trim if you want to disguise the setup as decor, faux ivy ribbon, or even wrap them in jute for a rustic look. The entire system costs under $3 per funnel stand. But what it delivers, a real noticeable 40% increase in airflow, is priceless on a hot summer day. This project is a quiet triumph. It reminds us that nature already has the answers. All we have to do is listen and maybe guide the wind with a little kindness and cleverness. So take your seat, friend. Let the breeze find you. Let it cool your skin and lift your spirits. Sometimes comfort doesn't come from doing more, but from letting the air move through just as it's meant to. Shade is a beautiful thing, especially when you can bring it with you. Whether you're sipping tea on the patio, trimming herbs by the fence, or sitting with a neighbor near the driveway, a bit of shade makes everything feel calmer. And with this next idea, you can create portable, movable shade for less than the cost of lunch. Start with a basic patio umbrella, one you already own or one you find secondhand. Then grab a large bucket from the Dollar Tree, one with a wide, stable base. This will become the foundation. To make it sturdy, pour in a mixture of quick-set concrete sand or even just fill it with decorative river stones. Insert the umbrella pole before it sets and use tape or a clamp to hold it steady until dry. Want it to look intentional and stylish? Paint the bucket in colors that match your outdoor theme, soft gray, sage green, or beachy blue. Wrap nautical rope or jute around the top rim for a rustic finish. You've just turned a plain bucket into designer-worthy decor. Now for the clever part, mobility. Add wheels to the bottom of the bucket using caster wheels and strong adhesive or screws. Make sure at least 2 of the wheels have locks so you can keep your shade in place once it's rolled to the perfect spot. If that feels like too much, a simple plant caddy with wheels underneath works just as well. Suddenly you have an umbrella that moves with the sun or with you. No need for a permanent installation, no dragging heavy furniture into shade. Just tilt and roll. The total cost around $8 to $10 for a fully finished base with wheels compared to $75 or more for commercial portable units. And it's yours, made with your hands, your colors, your creativity. This little project is a quiet game changer. It reminds us that comfort isn't just a luxury, it's a choice. And that flexibility in the garden and in life can be a beautiful thing. So take your shade with you, dear friend. Wherever the day takes you, let coolness and calm follow right behind. There's something enchanting about ice in the summer, the way it glistens, the way it cracks softly as it melts. But imagine if that ice wasn't just functional. Imagine if it became a work of garden art. That's what we're creating today. Delicate frozen bowls filled with flowers, perfect for cooling a table and delighting every guest who sees them. You'll need 2 nesting bowls for each ice sculpture, 1 large, 1 small. Plastic works just fine, and Dollar Tree often sells them in sets. Begin by filling the larger bowl about halfway with water. Then gently place the smaller bowl inside, pressing it down so it floats in the center. Weigh it down with a stone or a bag of dried beans. Now, between the walls of the 2 bowls, that narrow ring of space, drop in your floral magic. Use fresh blossoms from your garden, petals from a bouquet, or even herbs like mint and lavender. For extra charm, add a few slices of lemon or a swirl of food coloring in the water to create soft tints. It's like painting with nature. Once everything is in place, freeze the bowls overnight. The next day, remove the weights and run a little warm water along the outside to loosen the ice. Gently slide your frozen bowl out, a clear, shimmering creation with flowers suspended inside like summer memories caught in glass. Place your ice bowl on a plate or a shallow dish to catch the melting water. Fill the center with fruit-chilled drinks, or just leave it empty as a beautiful centerpiece. These bowls last about 4 to 6 hours, depending on the heat, just long enough to enchant a dinner, a picnic, or an evening in the garden. Each one costs around $2.25 to make. But what they offer is so much more: beauty, surprise, a touch of wonder. They remind us that elegance doesn't need to be permanent, it just needs to be intentional. Let your guests pause, let their eyes widen, let your table become a conversation, one that says, "Welcome, you're cherished here." And most of all, let yourself enjoy it too. Because you deserve moments of beauty just for you. There's nothing quite like sitting outside in the garden on a hot summer day, until the heat presses in and the still air becomes too much. But what if you could drop the temperature by nearly 20 degrees? Using nothing more than a battery-powered fan, a towel, and a bit of thoughtful placement. This next project is a senior-friendly version of what engineers call a swamp cooler, and it's wonderfully effective, especially in dry climates or shaded corners. Here's how it works. Start with a small portable fan, the kind powered by batteries or a USB power bank. You can find these at Dollar Tree or big box stores for just a few dollars. Then take a clean towel or even a Dollar Tree washcloth and soak it in cold water. Wring it out gently so it's damp, not dripping. Now secure the towel in front of the fan using clips, clothespins, or rubber bands, whatever you have on hand. The fan will blow air directly through the moist fabric, creating a fine, cool mist that lowers the surrounding temperature as it evaporates. Position this setup beside your garden chair, under your porch shade, or even near a picnic table. For extra charm, place a small screen or decorative trellis in front of it, not to block the breeze, but to make the setup look like it belongs in your outdoor space. And here's a little extra trick: keep a second towel in the fridge or freezer and swap it out every few hours for continuous refreshment. The total cost about $450, far less than the $80+ price tag of commercial evaporative coolers. And it runs for 8 hours or more on a fresh set of batteries. No outlets, no cords, no stress. What you're really creating isn't just a cooler breeze. You're creating a pocket of comfort. A zone where you can read, rest, or sip iced tea without breaking a sweat. A gentle reminder that you have the power to shape your space, even the temperature, with just a few simple tools and a little know-how. Because sometimes the best kind of luxury is a breeze that finds you exactly where you are just when you need it most. Picture this: the sun is high, your flowers are blooming, and you're sitting beneath a bit of shade with a cool drink in one hand and a chilled towel in the other. It feels like a spa, but it's your own backyard. That's the beauty of today's idea, a spa-inspired cool-down station that's not just pretty but profoundly refreshing. To start, find a small side table garden cart or even an upcycled storage crate. Anything waist height will do. Give it a fresh coat of paint to match your outdoor palette: pale mint, sandy beige, soft lavender. These gentle colors create a calming effect and make even the most basic item feel special. Next, gather a few weatherproof baskets or plastic bins to serve as your organizers. Label one for chilled towels. Simply roll up washcloths or hand towels, soak them in cold water, and refrigerate them before use. Place them neatly in the basket, and if you like, add a few sprigs of mint or citrus slices for a light scent that soothes. Another basket can hold personal misters, spray bottles filled with rosewater, or a hint of essential oils like eucalyptus or peppermint. These are heavenly on the neck or wrists during a warm afternoon. Add a small dish of clothespins or clips to keep the towels closed, and perhaps a small mirror or hand fan for that elegant touch. Finally, set up a shaded beverage area on the same surface or nearby a pitcher of iced tea, fruit-infused water, or sparkling lemonade. Use insulated cups or thermoses to keep drinks cool longer. Altogether, this station costs around $925 to build compared to $150 or more for commercial outdoor refreshment centers. But the peace it brings, priceless. This is more than decor. It's about making comfort part of your everyday life. About honoring your body in the heat and creating gentle rituals that say, you deserve this. And maybe, just maybe, it's about turning your patio into a place not just to sit, but to heal, to breathe, to feel refreshed inside and out. Do you remember chasing fireflies as a child? That quiet excitement of spotting a flicker in the dusk and cupping your hands gently around the glow. It was like holding a bit of magic. With this next idea, we're bringing that wonder back, not with bugs in a jar, but with the soft twinkle of fairy lights that mimic nature's most whimsical nightlight. All you need are a few mason jars, clear, simple, and sturdy. Punch a few small holes in the metal lids to let air circulate and create that firefly illusion. If you want a more delicate effect, wrap the jars in soft tissue paper first. It diffuses the light, making it feel even more like those glowing summer insects from long ago. Now take a short strand of battery-operated fairy lights, the kind you find for $1 or $2, and coil them gently inside the jar. Vary the number of lights in each jar, and if your light strand has a timer setting, even better. That way, they'll flicker on in the evening without you lifting a finger. Scatter the jars throughout your garden. Place some on porch steps, tuck others between flower beds, or hang them from shepherd's hooks or low-hanging branches. Use different sizes of jars if you can. The variation adds charm and gives your yard the feel of an enchanted forest. At nightfall, these little lights will glow softly, flickering just enough to make people pause. Children will point. Neighbors might ask what you used. But most importantly, you'll smile not just at the beauty, but at the feeling it brings back. Each jar costs around $2.25 compared to $25 or more for store-bought garden lanterns. But what you've created isn't just lighting. It's memory. It's wonder. It's a quiet glow that reminds us magic doesn't disappear when we grow up. Sometimes it just gets tucked inside a mason jar and placed by the roses. So light up your evening, dear friend. Let your garden sparkle with a little childhood joy, reimagined, rekindled, and right on time. There's something mesmerizing about candlelight on water. The soft reflection, the way it sways with each ripple, it feels almost sacred. You don't need a fancy pool or a big event to enjoy this kind of beauty. With just a few Dollar Tree materials, you can create floating luminaries that bring magic to any evening, whether it's a celebration or just a quiet night under the stars. Start with clear plastic containers. Think small bowls, lidded jars with wide mouths, or even old takeout tubs. Choose shapes that float easily and sit low to the water for stability. Paint the outside in gentle romantic tones like rose blush, soft amber, or pearl blue. Add swirls of metallic paint or a dusting of glitter if you like a bit of sparkle. Next, fill each vessel with water and drop in a waterproof LED tea light. If you'd like to hide the light base layer in flower petals, tiny glass beads, or slices of citrus fruit, all things that enhance the beauty without sinking the float. For a grounding touch, place a few decorative pebbles or glass marbles at the bottom. These not only add weight to stabilize the luminary, but become part of the floating display, shimmering softly beneath the light. Then gently place your creations into your pool bird bath or even a large decorative bowl on a patio table. As the sky darkens, these tiny floating stars begin to glow peaceful, elegant, and totally unforgettable. Each floating light costs about $1 to $2 to make, far less than commercial versions priced at $50 and up. And unlike store-bought ones, these reflect your taste, your hand, and your heart. There's something healing about watching light dance on water. It reminds us to slow down, to breathe, to honor the small luxuries we can create with our own hands. So tonight, don't wait for an occasion. Light your luminaries, pour a cool drink, and let your garden ripple with peace, because you've earned this stillness and you've made it beautiful. Have you ever seen the shadows cast by a Moroccan lantern, intricate lace-like patterns dancing along the walls, mysterious, romantic, and full of old-world charm? It may surprise you, but you can recreate that same exotic glow using something you likely toss in the recycling, a tin can. Start by collecting a few empty cans. Soup, coffee, or vegetable cans all work. Wash them thoroughly, remove the labels, and fill each with water. Then place them in the freezer overnight. This clever trick keeps the metal from bending when you punch the designs into them. The next day, grab a nail and a hammer and begin gently tapping out your pattern. You can create dots, stars, vines, or mandala shapes, whatever speaks to your spirit. If you prefer structure, use a pencil to sketch your design first or tape on a paper template as a guide. Just be sure to leave enough open space for the light to shine through. Once your pattern is complete, let the ice melt dry the can and spray paint it in a color that whispers elegance. Deep bronze, antique gold, soft matte black, or even a rich turquoise, the choice is yours. For extra sparkle, add a clear coat or lightly dust with glitter before the paint dries. To hang your lanterns, attach a chain or wire loop to the top using a drill or strong adhesive. Vary the length, some at 4 feet, others at 6 or 8, and hang them from a tree branch, pergola, or shepherd's hook. Inside each can drop a battery-powered tea light or small LED puck light. When night falls, your garden will come alive with dancing patterns, flickering, twirling, whispering stories of faraway places. And the best part, each lantern costs under $2 to make, yet looks like it came from a high-end boutique. These little lights do more than decorate. They transform space. They create mood, mystery, and warmth. They remind us that even humble things, even things once thrown away, can glow with beauty when handled with care. So hang your lanterns, dear friend. Let the shadows play, and let your garden become a place where stories and light are shared. Imagine sitting under the open sky while a gentle breeze sways crystal-like droplets above your head, catching and scattering light like little stars. It sounds like something from a fairy tale, but with a few embroidery hoops and Dollar Tree sparkle, you can craft your very own garden chandelier. Elegant, whimsical, and so much easier than it looks. To begin, pick up 3 wooden embroidery hoops in varying sizes. 12-inch, 18-inch, and 24-inch diameters work wonderfully together. These can often be found in the craft aisle for just a few dollars each. Paint them in a soft metallic shade, gold champagne, or even pearl white to reflect evening light beautifully. Now stack the hoops inside one another, suspended with clear fishing line so that the largest hangs lowest and the smallest sits at the top. Tie or hot glue the lines in place so the rings float tiered like a gentle spiral. This structure alone already creates a lovely silhouette, but the true magic comes next. Using strands of faux crystals, clear beads, or even raindrop garland from the holiday aisle. Hang delicate lines from each hoop, letting them dangle like chandelier strands. Vary the lengths for a cascading effect. You can also tuck in a few warm white fairy lights between the crystals. They'll catch the light and send glimmers across your garden when dusk falls. Finally, suspend the entire chandelier from a tree limb, a garden arch, or the center of your pergola using fishing line or chain. Make sure it hangs freely so it can gently sway with the breeze. Each chandelier costs about $12.50 total, far less than the $300 versions you'll find in garden boutiques or catalogs. Yet it carries just as much charm, maybe more. This isn't just a light fixture. It's a moment, a pause. A bit of wonder that turns an ordinary evening into something special. Because even as we age, we still deserve a little sparkle, a little drama, a little beauty suspended overhead, reminding us to look up, to dream, and to always make room for light. Do you remember lying on your back as a child, staring up at the stars, imagining galaxies and stories in the sky? That sense of wonder doesn't have to fade with age. In fact, you can bring it right into your garden. With a few humble rocks and a bit of glowing paint, your walkway can become a starlit path that twinkles softly all night long. Start with smooth stones or river rocks. You can collect them from your yard. Purchase a small bag at the Dollar Tree or check the landscaping section at your local hardware store. Choose ones that are flat and roundish, the kind that feel good in your palm. Now grab some glow-in-the-dark outdoor paint. You'll usually find this in soft shades of blue-green or aqua. Give each rock a couple of coats, letting it dry in between. You can paint them solid for a glowing orb effect, or use stencils to add stars, moons, or spiral patterns that mimic the cosmos. The secret to getting that magical glow: let them charge during the day. Place the rocks where they'll get plenty of direct sunlight or under a strong porch light so they can soak up energy. Then, as night falls, they'll begin to softly shine. Arrange them in a curving line along your garden path, scatter them around a seating area, or group them in clusters like constellations. You could even spell out a word like hope, rest, or peace with lettered rocks glowing gently beneath your feet. Each glowing path setup costs about $4.75 total, and the effect lasts 8 hours or more on a full charge. No wiring, no batteries, just light from the day stored and shared back into the night. These little stones don't just illuminate the path, they remind us of the beauty in quiet things, in slow light, in moments that ask nothing from us but to enjoy. So take a slow walk through your garden after sunset. Let the glow guide your steps. Let the silence hug your shoulders. And let your own inner light, like these stones, quietly shine. Some meals are more than just food. They're memories in the making. Whether it's a quiet breakfast with your thoughts, a candlelit dinner with your love, or a visit from an old friend, the right setting can turn a simple meal into a story. And with this next idea, you'll create that soft, intimate glow that makes every outdoor meal feel like a special occasion. Start with your dining space, whether it's a patio table, a folding card table, or even a repurposed bench and tray. Clean the surface and add a soft table, covering something neutral or lightly patterned. Then layer in warm, glowing light from 3 directions above at table level and from the surrounding garden. For overhead light, string warm white fairy lights above your table. You can run them between trees, attach them to shepherd's hooks, or hang them beneath a pergola or umbrella. Don't worry about perfect spacing, let them drape naturally for a relaxed charm. On the table itself, arrange LED candles of various heights, tall pillars, small votives, or tea lights in jars. You might even use a small mirror as a base to reflect their light upward and add a soft shimmer. If you're worried about wind pop, each candle inside a clear vase or hurricane glass for protection and elegance. Finally, place a few small spotlights or solar lights at the edges of your dining area, pointed toward nearby plants or flowers. This trick adds unexpected depth and dimension, making the entire space feel like a private outdoor room. The result: layered romantic lighting that flatters faces, softens moods, and invites quiet conversation. It looks like something out of a garden magazine, but only costs around $8.25 to complete. There's a quiet power in creating space like this. It tells your guests and yourself that life is worth celebrating. that beauty can be simple. That slowing down is not a luxury, but a gift. So light the candles, pour something cool, and take your seat. Tonight the stars might twinkle above, but your little table bathed in golden light will shine just as bright. You know that feeling when your home is divided into cozy corners. A reading chair here, a favorite lamp there, a little nook where you sip tea. Why not bring that same warmth and intentionality into your garden? With a little creativity and a few lights from the Dollar Tree, you can create garden rooms, each with its own mood, each glowing with purpose. Start by choosing 3 distinct areas of your outdoor space. Maybe one is for reading and quiet moments, another for chatting with visitors, and a third for playful gatherings or evening celebrations. Each space will get its own lighting character, warm, soft, or colorful. For your reading nook, use warm-toned lights, about 2700 K if you're choosing bulbs, or simply soft white LED string lights. Place a small solar lantern near a bench or chair, and add a clip-on reading light if needed. Surround it with a few pots of lavender or rosemary to scent the air. This corner will glow like a page from a gentle storybook. For conversation spaces, think garden benches, patio tables, or porch rockers. Opt for ambient lighting. LED candles, globe string lights, or mason jars with fairy lights will do the trick. The goal here is glow, not glare. Let the light hover gently at eye level so faces are softly lit and the mood remains intimate. Now for the fun, your gathering space. Here you can be bold. Use color-changing solar lights, or wrap multicolor string lights around posts or umbrella poles. You can even use paper lanterns in bright hues or festive LED bulbs in soft pink, aqua, or amber. This is where laughter happens, where music might play, and where the energy lifts as the evening deepens. The total cost for all 3 areas about $28.50 compared to $150 or more for professional outdoor lighting design. But the value goes far beyond the price tag. You've now created a garden that reflects how you actually live in seasons, in moods, in sacred little corners. A space that flows from peace to connection to celebration. Because light isn't just about seeing, it's about feeling. And tonight, you've given every part of your garden its own soft, shining soul. There's a certain kind of joy that fills the air during holidays and special gatherings. It's in the laughter, the music, the scent of good food. But perhaps most of all, it's in the lights. With just a few clever tweaks to your existing garden lighting, you can create festive displays that transform ordinary evenings into celebrations worth remembering. The key to this project is using what you already have: battery-operated or solar string lights, lanterns, and jars. But instead of keeping things neutral this time, we'll play with color arrangement and seasonal themes to bring your garden to life all year long. Start with your base, a standard warm white light setup. This could be fairy lights in mason jars overhead, string lights, or lanterns hung from shepherd's hooks. Now customize each occasion by adding themed accents. For birthdays or summer cookouts, add rainbow-hued tissue paper inside your mason jars, or wrap the bulbs in colored cellophane secured with clear tape. For anniversaries, use all soft white and warm pink tones accented with faux rose petals or tiny paper hearts. For Independence Day, alternate red, white, and blue lights along fences or trellises. Use clothespins to attach themed paper cutouts, stars, leaves, snowflakes along your garlands depending on the season. You can even add chalkboard signs or banners that mark the occasion, all made from Dollar Tree craft materials. Hang multiple strands at different heights, one low along the ground for a pathway effect, one at eye level for ambience, and one high overhead to mimic stars. This layered lighting adds depth and excitement without overwhelming the space. And here's the best part: once the celebration is over, you can return everything to your soft, everyday glow. No rewiring, no waste. One basic lighting setup, endless transformations. The entire festive lighting system costs around $15.75 and adapts to every event throughout the year. Far more meaningful and economical than buying new decor for every holiday. It's not just about parties. It's about marking life's moments, about turning your garden into a place that holds joy, memory, and love, visible not just in the daylight, but glowing softly into the night. So whatever you're celebrating, a birthday, a blessing, or just another sunset, light it up, because every season of your life deserves to shine. We all know the feeling: you're enjoying a warm summer evening, a glass of iced tea in hand, soft music playing, and then the mosquitoes arrive. Suddenly your piece is broken by itching and swatting. But what if you could protect your space not with harsh chemicals or buzzing zappers, but with beauty? This next idea is all about combining practicality and elegance. With just a few Dollar Tree items, you can create a layered mosquito defense system that blends seamlessly into your garden decor and keeps those pesky biters at bay. Start with citronella plants if you can find them at your local nursery, even better. But for a budget-friendly version, use small containers and fill them with lavender, rosemary, mint, or marigolds. These plants naturally repel mosquitoes and look lovely doing it. Choose simple plastic planters or buckets, then give them a fresh coat of paint in your favorite color. Wrap them in twine stencil on a design or glue on a few decorative stones for charm. Cluster them near seating areas or along walkways to form a natural barrier. Next, add essential oil diffusers hidden in plain sight. Fill small jars or tea light holders with cotton balls soaked in a mix of water and citronella eucalyptus or lemongrass oils. Place them on side tables or tuck them between flower pots. They'll release a gentle scent that keeps bugs away without overpowering your space. For extra style and function, position small portable fans nearby, the kind we used in the swamp cooler project, and disguise them with decorative screens, lattice panels, or potted arrangements. The breeze not only cools you down, but also confuses and disperses mosquitoes, which can't fly well in wind. Each defense station costs about $6.25 to build, and together they can reduce mosquitoes by 70% or more, all while making your garden feel more inviting, not less. Because protection doesn't have to be ugly. In fact, the best kind is so gentle, so lovely, you hardly notice it's working until you realize you haven't swatted once all evening. So reclaim your nights, dear friend. Sit a little longer, watch the stars, and let your beautiful bug-free space remind you that comfort and charm don't have to be opposites. They can and should live side by side. Sometimes what we crave in our outdoor space isn't more, it's less. Less noise from the street, less peering eyes from neighbors, less exposure to the world. What we want is peace, privacy, a little garden room that feels like our own quiet retreat. And with this next idea, you can have exactly that for just $12. Yes, really all you need are a few vinyl shower curtains, some grommets paint, and a little imagination. Start with clear or frosted Dollar Tree shower curtains. They're lightweight, weather-resistant, and incredibly versatile. If you prefer more coverage, choose opaque or fabric options, anything that suits your taste and blends into your garden color palette. Using a grommet kit available for just a couple of dollars, punch holes every 12 inches across the top edge of each curtain. This will allow you to hang them securely and to adjust them like real drapes. You can string them on tension rods between porch beams, run a rope between fence posts, or even hang them on tracks attached to a pergola. Now comes the artistry. Use outdoor-safe acrylic paints and a stencil to add your favorite design, soft leafy patterns, bold geometric shapes, or an ombre wash that fades from blue to white like a summer sky. You can keep it simple or turn each panel into a piece of garden art. No perfection needed. Nature is full of lovely flaws. To finish the look, weave in faux greenery or silk vines through the grommets or along the curtain edges. This creates the effect of a living wall, soft, inviting, and completely your own. The result? Adjustable privacy that feels like it belongs, not like a tarp or a barrier. Something beautiful, intentional, and soothing. And the total cost about $12 compared to $200 or more for store-bought privacy screens. But what you've made is far more valuable. A quiet space to read. A nook to sip morning coffee. A hidden corner where you can exhale fully and be yourself. Because sometimes creating peace isn't about walls. It's about grace. About gently framing the world so that your soul can stretch out and rest. And you, my friend, have just built that with care, with color, and with heart. Have you ever wished your garden could stay neat and beautiful without hauling out plastic bins or tucking clutter behind bushes? What if your extra tools, gloves, or outdoor cushions could disappear into something that looks like a designer planter? That's the brilliance of this next idea, creating hidden storage that doubles as elegant decor. It's the kind of solution that makes you wonder why we haven't always done it this way. Start with a large plastic bucket bin or laundry hamper, the kind you'd normally use for cleaning supplies or yard waste. Choose one with a lid or a flat surface on top. Then paint it in a rich, earthy tone like terracotta slate gray or sage green. Wrap the outside with jute rope faux wood contact paper or even adhesive garden lattice to mimic high-end planter materials. Next, create a removable false top. You can use a lightweight serving tray, a round cutting board, or even a piece of cardboard wrapped in fabric. Place a real or faux potted plant on top one that covers the surface and blends naturally into your garden setup. You've just disguised your storage as a beautiful plant stand. Inside, you can stash whatever makes your space easier to enjoy: gardening gloves, small hand tools, citronella candles, twine, or even extra seat cushions and picnic supplies. For added organization, insert smaller containers or pouches inside. Want to go a step further? Stack 2 bins to create a taller waist-height version. The lower one stores outdoor clutter, while the upper serves as a display pedestal for seasonal plants or lanterns. You can even label it with a small chalkboard tag for charm. Each of these hidden storage pieces costs around $450 to make compared to $100 for traditional patio storage solutions. But the real value isn't just in money saved, it's in space, reclaimed peace, restored. Because clutter doesn't belong in your sanctuary. And now, with a little creativity, it doesn't have to show. Your garden stays beautiful not just to others, but for you. Thoughtfully organized, quietly practical, fully yours. So tuck it away, cover it in blooms, and smile knowing that your garden just got a little smarter and a lot more lovely. Gardens are full of life, delicate, growing, and sometimes vulnerable. A sudden storm, a strong gust of wind, or an unexpected burst of summer heat can undo weeks of tender care. But instead of rushing to cover your favorite plants with tarps or dragging pots indoors, why not shield them with something beautiful? Today's idea is all about protecting your garden artfully. With clear containers, decorative supports, and a dash of creativity, you'll build plant shelters that look like sculptural features, not emergency fixes. Begin with clear plastic bowls, cloches, or even upside-down storage bins. Look for shapes that dome gently or taper like bells, the kind that naturally blend into a garden setting. These can be found at Dollar Tree or repurposed from your own kitchen supplies. Now transform them from plain to picturesque. Use glass paint or frosted spray to soften the light that passes through while still letting in warmth. Stencil on leafy silhouettes, sunburst patterns, or raindrops for a whimsical touch. You're not just covering a plant, you're creating a window into nature's resilience. For supports, use decorative stakes, wireframes, or small plant stands to elevate the shield slightly off the ground. This allows airflow and prevents overheating while still offering protection from rain and harsh wind. Wrap the base with faux vines or floral garlands to help the setup blend with surrounding blooms. These weather shields are especially useful for seedlings, heat-sensitive herbs, or any plant in recovery. And when not in use, stack them neatly in a corner or leave a few out as part of your garden's visual charm. Each shield costs about $3.75 compared to $15.30 for commercial options that often lack character. But more importantly, you're adding layers of love to your garden. Thoughtful care, gentle shelter, a quiet promise that beauty and protection can walk hand in hand. Because in the end, our gardens are like our hearts, soft open and sometimes in need of cover. And what a gift it is to offer that protection with grace. Every inch of a garden counts, especially when space is limited or the budget is tight. That's why this final idea might just be the most powerful of them all, creating multifunctional pieces that serve more than one purpose, all while blending seamlessly into your outdoor decor. Picture this: a garden bench that also stores your tools, a planter that glows at night, a screen that gives you privacy and holds your gardening gloves. These are more than DIYs, they're quiet problem solvers hiding in plain sight. Let's start with seating. Use a sturdy plastic storage bin or crate with a flat, secure lid. Add a weather-resistant cushion or a rolled blanket on top. Now you have an instant garden bench, and when you lift the lid, you've got room inside for watering cans, gloves, citronella candles, or even potting soil. For lighting, choose large planters or buckets and place solar lights right into the soil. As the plants grow, the light naturally filters through the leaves, creating a soft evening glow. It's functional lighting hidden inside something already beautiful. And for the ultimate two-in-one, create a privacy screen using a wooden trellis or lattice panel. Behind it, install a few S-hooks or mounted baskets. You now have a graceful vertical garden, a bit of privacy, and a place to hang tools, towels, or even wind chimes. The beauty of multifunctional pieces is that they reduce clutter, save space, and make your garden feel smart and intentional. Each one costs around $7 or $12 to make, far less than buying separate items that take up more room. But these projects are more than just practical. They're about honoring the rhythms of aging, of simplifying, streamlining, and surrounding ourselves only with what works and brings us joy. You're not just saving space, you're creating space for calm, for comfort, for creativity. You're saying, this is my sanctuary. Every part of it has a purpose and every piece tells a story. And maybe that's the greatest luxury of all, not having more, but making more out of what you already have. So build your bench, light your planter, hang your tools behind your flowers. Let your garden like you become wiser, stronger, and more beautiful with time. Well, dear friend, here we are at the end of our garden walk. Can you feel it? That soft pride blooming quietly in your chest, knowing that with just a few dollars, a bit of care, and your beautiful imagination, you can create something extraordinary. Not because it's perfect, not because it looks like the catalog, but because it's yours. This wasn't just about Dollar Tree finds or clever tricks. It was about possibility, about remembering that your hands, no matter how old, still hold the power to shape, to decorate, to delight. That creativity doesn't retire, it simply softens, becomes wiser, more thoughtful, more rooted. Each of these 30 ideas was designed for someone like you, someone who doesn't need more stuff, but more meaning. Someone who finds joy in the little details, the sound of wind chimes made from spoons, the shimmer of fairy lights in a mason jar, the cool mist of a homemade breeze on a hot afternoon. Because a garden is never just a garden. It's a reflection of you, your resilience, your resourcefulness, your ability to turn not much into more than enough. And now you've created a space that invites rest, laughter, and connection. A space where others can sit beside you and say, this feels like peace. And maybe, just maybe, they'll be inspired to find that same peace in their own backyard. Before we part, I'd love to hear from you truly. Which idea spoke to your heart today? Which one are you most excited to try this weekend, or maybe you have a clever hack of your own to share? Drop it in the comments. Let's keep inspiring each other, one thoughtful transformation at a time. And if you'd like more gentle inspiration like this, don't forget to subscribe. I post these soft, soul-satisfying garden ideas regularly because you deserve to feel creative and proud in every season of your life. Until next time, may your plants thrive, your projects sparkle, and your heart remain open to joy. From my garden to yours, happy gardening, dear friend.